Oh, we're in the kitchen today, Joe.
Yes, we are. Decided to try some different lighting.
It looks much better. You're lovely.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's you know how it is. You got to go for the face look, right?
There you go. There you go. So what's going on?
Just hey, I was looking at a lot of stuff the last few days. I've got some interesting alpha, but I did actually go into Geist today. I don't
Oh
know
shit! Tell us about. Well, you want to tell us now or after the news?
We'll talk a little bit now and then after the news. But yeah, no, we all walk up and saw ETH blowing through the top today, and
Well, it was about time. It was hanging low. I mean, it was just hanging out, watching BNB and Bitcoin go up.
Yeah, it just shoot through those ceilings, though, man. I was like, there was a lot. Just looking at Binance itself, there was a lot of sells in there in that 3,700 range, 3,800 range, 3,600 range, and it just chewed through everything. So now I see it's kind of coming back a little bit, 3784, but that's where the battle lines are drawn now. So as soon as I did that, I went to Geist, and of course we talked about this yesterday, and it was up 38% by the time I
exactly, of course.
So I said, screw it. I went in anyhow, and just took a position because there's so many ways to earn yield on it that I was just like, whatever. So I've been wanting to get in that for a while, based upon Inverse and Ohm and all of those.
What does it do?
It looks a lot like Aave. That's what I was surprised about. I'm over on the Phantom side, and it looks just like Aave. So
interesting.
You can stake and borrow, and we'll talk more about that after we go through the news. And I'll talk about a few things that are going on there. And then another layer one chain I've seen a lot of talk about called Moon River today, with some decent
Moon River.
But hey, in the search for layer ones, it looked pretty good. It's ranked on all the the TVL market cap TVL ratio looks good. It's on the DeFi Llama list, and then
what does Moon River do?
It's just another layer one chain that's going to be hosting DeFi protocols.
What?
Cheaper.
It's a whole chain.
Oh yeah. It's Moon River. It's a whole chain.
Shit.
They got a thing called Solar.
And it's called Moon River.
Yep.
How come I didn't hear any? I haven't seen anything on Twitter about this.
Dude, I hadn't heard about it either. And but a lot of people were, the Ohmies and Inverse guys, and people are in Time, and all of those were talking it up. And so I took a look, and I'm like, I went on DeFi Llama, and it had something that I thought was pretty interesting. In that, what I do, I always look at the 7-day performance, and then what's going on that day. And it was off like 38%, I think, for the 7-day. And it's just dropped into a nice range. Where is it? I think it's number 30. Number 30 on the DeFi Llama chains list, DeFiLlama.com /chains. And 95 million in TVL, I believe, off 36% the last 7 days, but up 3.5%.
Kusama. Kusama.
Yes.
Nah, I know now. Okay, yeah. So Kusama is the testnet of
Polkadot.
Although that's not the. Now I get it. Sorry, man, I wasn't connecting the dots.
Yeah. So we were looking at a few things there that were bridging between Cardano, Polkadot, and I think Polygon. I think that was Matrix, if I'm not mistaken, has that capability. This one looked really interesting, but then it led me to a further exploration of another chain. Where was this one? Or another protocol. Well, anyhow, so then I went there and looked, and I was like, holy moly, this is a lot like Aave. So, people that are looking to, stake something somewhere and borrow on it, this could be interesting.
Are you saying the DeFi is like built into the chain, or is it just separate applications that have already been launched on the chain?
Oh no, I'm sorry. That was I was segueing back to Geist, but
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is the chain, Moon River, and the one on there. There's another play on there that's a DEX. I believe it's. Let me find it real quick, because I was looking at a lot of Solana stuff today too. There's Saber. I think it's Solar. I think Solar is the one that's on Moon River. And I'm looking for it here. Scroll. Yes. Solar Beam, I believe. And yeah, it's on Moon River. Number 48 on the protocol, the DEXs line of DeFi Llama.
Okay.
So look, they were, off 33% for the 7 days, up 3.3 today. So haven't gotten into it yet, but people are talking, and people are trying to figure the bridges out. As soon as I know that, I'll tell everybody tomorrow. But this is one to kind of, as a lot of people are looking at the next layer ones, and this could be one. So we'll talk more about that later. But let me share my screen, and I'm on just the laptop today, so I have to move around to different. Oh yeah, ETH is back up over 3,800 already. Okay, so I'm going to pull up just a news story real quick.
I'm posting a podcast. I'm still listening though.
Okay, sure.
I'll let you do your news.
Yeah, let me see.
Because I'm behind on everything.
Yeah, tell me about it, man. Okay, I think this is the one. Let's see. Yep, got it. Okay, so I can just share it. I guess you're going to see my whole screen.
Oh, did you pick? You could pick a tab.
Yeah, it's just I'm moving around to different windows, so it's on one laptop, so it's a little bit tricky. Yeah, that's it. Let's share it. Why isn't it sharing? Share. It says it's sharing the screen. Oh yeah, it's just showing us there. Okay. Okay, so a lot of the stuff I saw. Now, can you see this story, Brad? Cointelegraph?
Nope.
You can't see it yet, so it's not sharing that part.
Oh, I have to take it to the stream. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So can you see it now?
Yep.
Okay. So a lot of stuff in the news this morning about the potential BTC ETF. So we're talking about a lot of people are in here. Amplify ETFs, Invesco, Galaxy have all submitted registrations. This was a couple of weeks ago, but then the new news was that today, ARK, or Cathie Wood, and one other one, Valkyrie, changed their SEC registrations and assigned tickers to them, which is usually a sign that approval in something that's going to be listed is imminent. Otherwise, they wouldn't be assigning tickers. So that is a good sign. Kind of the odds they're giving in this one is something by the end of the month, 75%. So, my read is that, look, if it gets delayed, it gets delayed, but it seems to me like this is pretty much getting ready to get greenlit. So, and it talks about here how, gosh, sorry about this, guys. Let me kill this one off. Where is this? Yoda. This was another define thing. Disable. Okay. Where people are talking about the different teams that are in there. It looks like these two are the front runners for SEC approval. And this is a guy who, the reporter Balch, and this is one who really tracks on this. So this is good news. And look, the ARK one. So there were some people were talking about some speculation about, partnering with the Canadian ETFs, but there's no mention of these in these prospectuses at all. So particularly not in the ARK one. So this is, essentially really good news because it means they're fulfilled in dollars on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, but no Canada mentioned anywhere. And there was one other thing in here I thought, because it's under the 40 Act versus the 33 Act, which I'm not too familiar with, but evidently the 40 Act is the one that Gensler really, really likes. So a lot of people shifted. I think the 33 could allow the Canadian stuff. Okay. I think everybody's just trying to contain this. So that's good news. And then, of course, the G7 issued central bank digital currency guidelines about, issuing your own central bank tokens, stable coins. So this is another further improvement. And, that's obviously Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the UK and the US. And they're just trying to ensure, financial system stability. Right. So to me, I think that's, again, further evidence that things are happening in a good way. And I think this was kind of interesting because the very last paragraph here confirmed what we were saying before, that although China's crypto crackdown is likely to just be part of its grand plans to promote and control its own central bank stable coin monetary flows. So it sounds to me like something big is going to be coming out of China soon as well, on their stable coin. They've been working on that, I think, since 2014.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So all good stuff. And then, this was just I don't know if I showed the screen earlier, but this is where, you see Solar Beam right here, which is on the Moon River chain. And then
that's interesting.
Yeah, the chain.
I haven't heard a damn thing about this chain.
I heard it's being mentioned, water cooler talk in one of my private channels. It was pretty interesting.
Well, I've always wondered why, I always thought that Polkadot might get outshone by Kusama because it moves so much faster. So this is really an interesting thing to have happening.
Yeah, I think, I was in Kusama before, and I think it, they sort of the test bed, like you said, before they roll stuff out on the main chain. So again, super interesting possibilities there. Also, another thing, I was looking at like I said, the Solana stuff, and there's a couple of good plays in there. Saber is looking pretty good right now. And there was another one, I'll remember it tomorrow, but those things are all coming together in different ways. So
that's great. Oh, I this morning was listening to driving the kids to school and was listening to the Bankless podcast, and for once it was an episode where they weren't spending the entire time being Ethereum maxis, which was awesome. And they were talking about Rari Capital, and in that conversation, Rari broke $1 billion in TVL while they were live, or while they were in the conversation. And he also mentioned that they were going to announce launch permissionless lending. So that happened. I didn't realize it, but 3 days ago. But I'm taking a much deeper dive into Rari, really trying to get a better understanding of what is going on there, because I think there's a lot of potential. Something else I want to talk about, I don't remember if we've even talked about them or not, but it's Superfluid. There's another project, I'm drawing a blank on the name, that does something similar. But this is, for me, I was just posted my podcast interview with Francesco Ranzi, the founder of one of the founders of Superfluid. And Superfluid has built a protocol for streaming payments. So what does that mean? So let's say I hired you for $1,000 a month to, do the news for us every day. Not happening, Joe.
Yeah, it's like $1,000 a day, maybe.
So rather than you sending me an invoice on the 30th of the month saying, "Hey, Brad, end of the month, pay me," I would actually set up a payment stream to you, and every second or minute, I think it's second, a portion, of that money would be streamed into your wallet, right? And so what happens with this is a lot of implications, because it sounds like, oh, well, great, so you're dividing this up into these tiny fractions, who gives a shit, right? But it actually makes some tremendous changes, right? So in the United States, there are billions of dollars in bounce check charges from banks, right? Like one of their primary revenue streams, right? This potentially eliminates that, because it does. There's two potential possibilities here. First of all, you have cash flow coming in, so you're not waiting till the end of the 2 weeks, or you're not waiting till the end of the month to have that money coming in. So when the electric bill has to be paid, or you need to go to the grocery store, or whatever it is, the money has already been rolling into your wallet, into your account that you were supposed to be getting from your employer, and you're not waiting to get that at the end of the month, right? So now those checks that bounced because you were $12 short on a Thursday and you get your money on a Friday, they're not going to be short, right? The other thing that opens up is incredible potential for uncollateralized lending, right? Because now you have a constant stream of data that's been registered of payments that are coming into you, whatever those payments are, employers, contracting, whatever. And so somebody can make a bet on the fact that it's there, and then a stream can be set up to take 3% out of your every second of stream, or 1 minute of streamed revenue, and pay back the debt that you borrowed to buy the new car, or whatever you borrowed back whenever you did it. Then there are all kinds of other things. Automated investing. So you could say that every time something hits my wallet in Ethereum, I want 1% of that to go to buy Ohm, right? And I want it to automatically stake it. So they've created, there are so many possibilities. If people listen to the podcast, I think you're going to be really blown away because I came up with 100 ideas. At Material Indicators, one of our biggest problems is everybody wants to pay us in crypto, but you can't do subscriptions with crypto. There's no way to set up a monthly subscription with crypto. With this, I can set up subscriptions in crypto, and I can automate people having access or not having access to our tools based on whether or not the stream continued from their wallet, right? Mm-hmm. So there are just a ton of possibilities with streaming payments. I'm really impressed with this team. They're doing hackathons. They have a fund. It's a really powerful option. Oh, the other thing on this, there are no transaction fees.
Oh,
so
wow.
The transfers happen and are secured on the blockchain, but there are no transaction fees. Currently available on Ethereum mainnet and Polygon. But it's a really tremendous.
What's this called again?
It's called Superfluid.
Okay.
This is Multicoin. I found them through Multicoin Capital when I was interviewing one of the founders there, and I was going through their portfolio, and I found Superfluid. And he did a thesis on why he thought Superfluid is important. And this whole streaming payments thing goes beyond everything. Like, it's like the whole idea of banking the unbanked and actually providing tools that are valuable to everybody at every level. This kind of protocol can enable all of that, right? And the things that can be built here are tremendous. It actually caused me today to post a tweet actually saying you could build an entire fund around this protocol, mm-hmm. right? Because you could theoretically have 100 applications launched on this, and you could have applications launched on the applications, right? Imagine you set up a gateway for subscriptions in crypto with crypto payments, and then you can parse that out to all kinds of things. Now you've got this gateway. The business, instead of taking a capital advance against credit card revenues, can take an advance against their subscription revenues, and it's all on the blockchain. Or they can parse out their payments to their employees automatically, because then the system will actually automatically parse the payments to the employees for their streams that are set up, and you don't have to do anything, right? You've got this constant stream of money coming in and going out to employees and contractors, and you don't have to write checks. You don't have to set up payment plans. You don't have to do anything. It just, this segment of this much goes to this person every minute, and I want it to equal this at the end of the month, and just run through it. I mean, there are so many possibilities of building on top of it. Mm-hmm. If you can't tell, I'm really excited about this.
Well, there's a couple of things that just hit me right away. One is, look, crypto's volatile. So when you're moving at a higher frequency, daily, hourly, those payment streams, you're not taking on the currency risk, so to speak, of holding it for 30 days.
Exactly.
So you kind of get real time. I guess what I would be curious about is it the invoice amount divided by, say, 30 days, and those increments are frozen, or is it a 30-day tranche recalculated each day? Would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, you could do anything you want with it, right? This is basically an API system, right? Yeah. So you can make it calculate any way you want to make it calculate. That's the beauty of it.
So you're almost like kind of DCAing in a way, or what we call dollar cost averaging on the payment stream. So you're kind of making the price more stable in a lot of these coins. Also, you could take parts of it, like you said, and fund specific things like charitable donations.
Exactly. Automatically make philanthropic donations. Yep.
Yeah. Or move it into specific platforms where you want to put it to work in LPs.
Yep.
So
and use logic to say, okay, this LP, the APR is down. Whenever this APR hits less than 20%, I want you to go to this one, or look at these 5 that have X and keep streaming. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much potential there.
Like go to the highest APR ones.
Exactly. Just keep hopping in and out.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, imagine an integration with Define's Fusion, right? Mm-hmm. So you do an integration all via smart contract using the streaming. You're taking 10% of your revenue streaming automatically. you send it to Fusion, you get when you send it to their pools, you look at their pools, you say, okay, I want 10% of my money to go in the top 10 APR pools at DeFi, right? Mm-hmm. So it goes and looks, and it takes that like once a day, and it automatically pushes it through Fusion, allocates all the LPs, moves it into the farms, the tokens into the farms, and then the profits coming out, you can stream into other pool. I mean, there's just a lot of possibilities with this, with the money that's constantly coming in. And that's the other thing, right? So let's say you're getting 10,000 a month in revenue in some way. Mm-hmm. Well, at the end of the month is when you get to take that $10,000 and invest it. But if you're taking that $10,000 and dividing it by minutes in a day, and you're actually investing it in a streaming fashion on, cheap fees on, maybe say every $20, guess what? By the end of the month, your 10,000 is potentially 13,000 or 14,000. Yeah. So you're compounding everything you earn every day, utilizing this system without having to wait, right? I mean, the amount of revenue potential for real people, businesses, investment firms, whatever, from something like this is really powerful. Obviously, you're looking at a massive adoption play. I mean, you've got to get a lot of adoption to make this worth it, but the potential is just tremendous, like absolutely amazing.
Well, it's accelerating capital. Look, anybody that's into business or capital markets or capitalist, the idea is that the money should go to the best projects in the most efficient manner. Think about all those startups, the .com days that we were raising money for, or you were, how hard it was to go get money from private investors. Now, all of a sudden, the velocity of capital is accelerating tremendously. Right. And stability too, the volatility is being reduced. So to me, this is ideal for, funding projects, for, doing all kinds of things to increase the velocity of capital, which is, game changing.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, think about, the idea of being able to, I lost my whole friggin' train of thought. Oh, I know. Get really complex, right? With all these new DeFi 2.0 protocols, right? So what if you could make it so you streamed in real time, right? And obviously fees are an issue. So Alchemix and Ohm are not great examples right now, but a similar protocol, right? Where you taking your streamed revenue, you're staking it into a protocol like Ohm, and then you automatically move it to Rari, and you're automatically borrowing against your staked Ohm tokens, and that's what you used to live on. So if you could in real time stream into these protocols without the fees, and then automatically leverage that with like, a decent or smart or safe collateralization level or on your loans, you could be living on loans constantly and having that streaming into the wallet you use to pay your bills. So you have this cycle of this thing that's just like in real time, every minute, more money's being put in, you're making more money, it's revolving all the way back around, and you're living on the value of that money without actually spending any of it.
Yeah, and then as the value goes up and yields increase, it's getting paid off too.
Exactly.
I saw Alchemix this morning too. It was up. I think it backed off a little bit, but it was up in the 400s. I think.
Oh no, I'm such a happy camper right now, man. Yeah. My Alchemix and my Ohm both.
Yeah, Ohm was crushing. Now you also need to remember INV is another one that people are talking about around Ohm. Not to change the subject.
No, that's fine. Yeah. That was plenty of. We've talking about that for an hour and a half.
Like Spell is another one. These
Klima.
Now remember they have. Go ahead.
That's the carbon neutral Ohm. Evidently, it's like an Ohm fork.
Yeah, so in some of the chats, a lot of the people aren't. They're not like super pro carbon credit kind of guys. And the fact that they're like just saying F it, I like this, and they're going in. I think that I don't know if I talked about.
Well, that's cool. Look, if greed makes people invest in carbon offsets,
hell yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I look at it. So and these are guys that have been talking about Ohm since I think it was in single digits when I first started seeing it go across the chat, and they're talking up Klima. So To me, I think this is one. There's a well, this is free alpha for everybody, but I don't know if I said it yesterday, but there's, I think at 8 o'clock UTC on the 18th is the public launch. So if you're going to play in that space for 4 p.m. East Coast time, US, make sure you have your Matic wallet set up beforehand.
Yeah.
And it's not too hard. Just Google, set up Matic wallet. And it'll tell you exactly how to do it, and get your stuff bridged over there first. So you're ready. But a lot of people are saying this could be a quick 3 to 4x, just like that. So
I hate trying to leap in on those, though. It drives me nuts. It's like,
I know I usually miss them. I usually miss it, to be honest.
Look, it's like, I wish I had been there from the beginning with Ohm, but you know what? I got in at 320 something, whatever.
320?
Yeah.
$3.
And I'm a pretty happy camper. No, 320.
Yeah.
And I'm a pretty happy camper. And sure, I would have loved to have been there at $5 or whatever it was. But I like and more. Look, we're still degenning into, these yield farms and LPs and having a blast with it. And I love doing that. And it's a lot of fun. But the core stuff, man, I'm really getting excited about the DeFi 2.0 stuff. I really see power here. I did this tweet this morning where Y is on your DeFi. Who is on your DeFi 2.0 list? And I listed out some of the ones I really like, the ones I think that are going to penetrate real life, that I think have really strong connections, the potential to build products on top of them, that are changing the economics and tokenomics models. And so I asked everybody to post theirs, and I've gotten a lot of great suggestions. This discussion's gone really well. Somebody asked me, this guy's a researcher at Masari, Chase Devins. But I think there's a ton of potential here in this new protocols, what everybody's calling DeFi 2.0. I think we're going to see a real big shift going forward in terms of being able to make fundamental level investments, right?
Yeah.
And that's more and more of my stake is going into projects that I feel very good about. And, friggin' Olympus, I'm clearing 7,500 APY right now. We'll see how long it lasts. And Alchemix is 56%. So,
well, on Ohm, let me ask a question on Olympus. Are you in the vaults? Like, are you locking it up?
I'm staking it.
Yeah. So what's the staking period on your thing?
No, there's no lock. Anytime you want, in and out.
Okay, yeah, because some of the other guys are doing the staking periods, and I've been doing them for a while.
On Ohm? Oh no, they're doing the bonding.
The bonding. I'm sorry.
They're doing bonds.
Yeah, and so I hear people talking about only 2 more days. Come on, don't tank.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but you can do stuff like that on Geist too. When you guys go check that out.
Oh yeah, what's the website for Geist?
I think it's Geist.finance. Let me see.
What does the word Geist mean?
I think it's playing on zeitgeist and things like that.
But isn't Geist a word by itself? Is it like Hebrew or Yiddish?
It's either or German, one or the other. I think it's like, is it life? What is it?
We're gonna find
out. Spirit.
L'chaim. The spirit of an individual or group. That's a good name. Mm-hmm. I like that. Oh, yeah. Geist. Wow. Is this like a fork of Aave?
That's what I'm telling you. It looks just like it.
It's friggin' Aave.
It's everything is just like it. So,
and that's everything they offer is essentially what Aave offers?
Well, except it's, I don't know. I'm on Phantom version. So, so basically on the Phantom version, you can stake.
Are they on Polygon or something too?
I don't, I thought they were. I didn't know that these guys have been talking about it for a while, but I didn't know it was on Phantom, or maybe it just launched on Phantom. I'm not sure, but it's like,
no, it's only Phantom.
Okay, so I was already over there. You buy it on Spooky Swap.
Okay.
So it's like
it's an Aave fork on Spooky on Phantom.
Yeah. So all of a sudden now, everybody's holding stacks of Phantom FTM. You can park it here.
131 million in liquidity. That's not bad.
Yeah, no.
For Phantom, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot more over there, as everybody knows. The Spirit, Phantom, Spell. Abracadabra, another OMI play.
Holy shit! The staking APY is 3,331%.
Yeah, I was trying not to tell everybody that today. since my Mona USDT pool got crushed yesterday.
Joe is like, we cannot get famous doing this or I will never be able to invest again.
Yeah, so I'm like, hopefully it'll take everybody a couple days to figure it out.
We need an opposite pool. We need pools that actually the APY increases the more people come in. That's what we need.
Yeah, that could be the next thing. Now you think about it.
Yeah.
If you could lever up all the, well, we'll have to think that one through, but that's an interesting concept. That would be
like, how would you do that? Like, would it be based on the price of the token growing up because more people come in to buy it to stake it?
Oh, come on, dude. It'd be automagically. No, I think we'd have to think through. I'm sure there's some kind of weird math that we could orchestrate to where
that's awesome.
Through burning, like maybe when you bought it, the more that was in, it accelerated the burn rate or something like that.
Oh, so you could use like some of these stable algo concepts, right? Where instead of when you start having that upward push on the price or APY, and you push back down on it by releasing more supply, you don't like, I don't know, man, but there's got to be something there.
There's some math there for that. And, of course, if anybody wants to get on this at the founding level with us.
We'll be launching the token sale tomorrow at 5:30 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. Fair launching it. So, of course,
of course,
we'll be selling 4% of the stake.
We're only fairly taking 50%.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's you can trust us, right?
Yeah. So, hey, should we open? I have an idea. Should we?
Yeah.
Should we? For us to make a lot of money, should we open source it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have this token I created called Kilroy.
Yeah, I remember.
KROY. You remember Kilroy was here?
Yeah, of course.
So that was from World War II. An artist did it. So here's my idea. Let's see if nobody can steal it because I have the token, but I guess they could clone it. So my idea is this: well, it's not fully thought out. So you tell me if it's bad or good, if we should change it. So
hold on. Keep talking. I can hear you.
Okay. So we take those tokens and we create a set of, I don't know, 10,000 seems to be the number, or 5,000 profile picture NFTs based on the original Kilroy drawing.
Okay.
Right. So they're all unique. We do the whole PFP thing. That gives a hook. Then you can only buy the PFPs. We do them through Doki machines.
Oh, with the gacha?
We release the PFPs through a Doki machine.
Okay.
You can only buy the you can only buy the PFPs using Kilroy. We burn a percentage of the Kilroy that's used. And the only way to get Kilroy initially is for how was I going to do this? Someone else to we'll have them available to buy on a market, but here's the other thing. So let's say you have Kilroy already, you've bought it on the market, or you had an airdrop of some sort. You come in and buy it. When you get your NFT, your PFP, which will be unique, you will have random access. So randomly, every PFP will be assigned a number of Kilroy tokens, right? So we do a full-blown airdrop without it being a regulatory problem from an airdrop perspective, because we're not just dropping the tokens, they're buying the NFT. There's a random amount you get assigned. So you get your NFT and you have 1,000 tokens, right? But in order to get the tokens, you have to send some percentage of those tokens to some number of people, right? So you have to send, let's say you had 1,000 tokens, you have to send 20, I'm just making this shit up as I go right now. You have to send 20% of those tokens to 5 other people, right? So in order to get your tokens, and then some percentage of the tokens you got are burned automatically when you send them out, right? So let's say you get 1,000 tokens, 10% get burned, 20% gets sent out, you get the remaining amount. You may get 10,000 tokens, you may get 500,000 tokens, but every NFT has associated with it some random number of tokens that you get. Then you take the tokens and the NFT model and you open a DAO up and you let the whole community that has them now come up with concepts to code and develop around the token, a concept of a game or an NFT company or a DeFi play or whatever around it. That's, yeah, I got a dog choking.
That's you. Okay. No, yeah. I wasn't sure if that was my laptop again. If my fan was going, I was like,
hold on. Please hold.
Yeah, sure. Buddy. I'll keep talking. Can you hear me? Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's an interesting idea. I like the idea of, so the gachapon machine, it's basically go for, a random number generator on how many you got in that NFT.
Right.
So rather than doing like 1 1s and 3 3s, and the NFTs would all be unique and they'd be tied to some amount of tokens. And that's the uniqueness.
Exactly. And to release the tokens, you have to send the tokens, right? So now you're spreading out the number of holders of tokens. And at the same time, you launch liquidity pools, yield farming, and maybe you launch some other fun game around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
let's think about that, because I think you and I could just fund it ourselves, but I think that we could get in one of these channels. I do a lot of, get a lot of this OMI related intel from, in inverse, like, I'm sure we could get more people to come in on that.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's flush that one out a bit and maybe open it up to the community after we have it set up.
If anybody out here is interested, DM me on Twitter, B05Crypto. And my wallet address for your first deposit of $5,000 is 04. No, I'm just kidding.
in stablecoin, of course. Another chain I looked at, and I forgot to mention this one. Remember I was talking about that token called Erowon, EROWAN?
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Paired with Atom on QuickSwap.
What?
Oh, EROWAN. Echo, Randy, Oscar, Whiskey, Alpha, Nancy.
Sift chain.
Yes, Sift chain.
Chain.
It's a layer 1.
I hate their friggin' graphics.
Yeah, it's a
I remember looking at this.
Some people are talking about it.
Makes me cry.
But it's one that I'm going to start like trying, because I've sort of found it when looking at Atom and, Cosmos. So my feeling, I looked at all of those, Cosmos and AVAX.
I feel like my mother designed this brand.
Yeah, for kids or something. It does have that funny look to it, but
it's weird, dude.
Yeah, but it's a layer 1 and it's
an entire chain as well.
Yeah, supposedly. I don't have DeFi Llama up at the moment. I'll do a quick check, but I was DeFi.
What do they say? The world's first omni-chain. Oh no, it's a DEX. It's a multi-chain DEX. That's what it is. Oh, did they fork Thorchain? Is that what they did?
Where was this? Was it a protocol?
Yeah, it's not its own. It's an exchange that works across chains.
Yeah, there was something about this though that was.
What
is it? Is it on
will support 20 of the 25 top blockchains: Bitcoin, Binance Chain, Polkadot, and EOS.
Yeah, that's it. So start looking at that,
and it's legit.
It looks. People are talking about it as
Mechanism invested. That woman ghosted me. She was supposed to come on the interview, and she totally ghosted me. What's her name?
She
totally Alameda's in it.
Yeah, there's some big investors in there, and so I was like,
"Can they buy a brand?"
Yeah, I mean, Sift Chain
designer, please. What is this Cinderella shit? What the frick? Am I missing something thematic here?
I don't know. Maybe
seriously, this is so bad.
Maybe it's their play on, how. Well, I don't know. Maybe they think everybody thinks Cinderella's hot or something.
This particular Cinderella is pretty freaking hot, but is there a story?
Yeah. No idea, man. I just basically figure, you just check this stuff out.
Say hello to Sift Chain.
Yeah, it sounds like kind of.
Oh, the brainchild of Sif, the Norse goddess of earth, agriculture, fertility, of course, family, and marriage. I don't think those things go together. Well, fertility does, yeah. She brings abundance, pleasure, and wisdom wherever she goes. She has blessed a hearty band of 21st century humans with the task of instantiating Sif Chain in our unit. Oh my God, really?
Yeah. Well,
I can't invest in this no matter what.
I
don't
haven't
even use this product.
Well, it's kind of cranky to look at. I agree.
It hurts me.
But there's some, if you're playing multi-chain stuff and things like that, it's definitely worth.
No, conceptually, it sounds great. If they, my question is, are they forking Thorchain? Because Thorchain is really cool shit that I haven't climbed into enough. Because Thorchain is native token swaps, right? Mm-hmm. So you get, this is no wrapped tokens, not the standard bridge. This is what Shapeshift is betting their whole business on, is utilizing Thorchain for the swaps that Shapeshift offers when he shifted to an open source company, and he's using Thorchain to do something like this.
But it must be because Sif is probably like, was it Thor's wife or something like that? Maybe. I mean, those are both Norse type goddess, whatever.
I don't know.
You know, it's kind of like the stuff on Phantom when I look at like Spooky Swap and Spirit Swap. I'm kind of like, what the? I mean, I guess because the network's called Phantom, although with an F, not PH. Why? You know, they have those campy themes, and I guess that plays to some consumers. That's, oh, isn't that cute? But you know, I do find it annoying, to be honest. I just want to see numbers and returns and stuff and easy boxes to push buttons on.
It's built on Cosmos.
There you go. That's why it's paired with Atom then on QuickSwap. Yeah.
I mean, why would they even list Stellar as an integration? I don't get it.
Well, it's so like, 2018, man.
I know, man. The graphics are 1918, so I guess it's good for them to integrate with 2018 chains.
Well, they'll probably do their, pitches to the VCs and stuff with an opaque projector or something like that.
Hybrid order book and CLP.
I mean, that sounds like there's some pretty good stuff in there if you can get over the.
If it's real, I mean, with those investors, I have to believe it is.
Yeah,
I mean, Alameda is not fucking around, and it's kind of interesting that they're just carrying it on for us. Look, I always tell brands, have a voice, have a story,
have something unique.
Differentiate
yourself.
I guess they're all in.
Yeah, but they need to kind of maybe make those characters a little more anime-like, is my guess.
Something. I mean, they got lots of boobs going on, so I guess that's the whole real goal here.
Yeah, I mean, everything you look at is all...
And the art's beautiful if this is a children's book.
Yeah, fairy tale land.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think there's some substance in there.
Yeah, there's some amazing potential if it's real. And like I said, with that investment team, I think it probably is.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my markers, right? It's like, did some big guys come in, and are they thoughtful, smart people?
Well, that's what we always call it, smart money.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was back in the day when it was AOL was doing a raise. I was in DC, and when I knew obviously the founders, and they looked at a lot of deals after that. Ted Leonis in particular, who I think owns the Wizards or the Capitals, or some of the sports teams there in Washington. And but I remember that they were, somebody was interviewing an investor up in New York who was running a family office of a bunch of families from, I think, Central Asia or Middle East, something like that. And he threw 20 million into AOL, I believe. And it wasn't even AOL. That's right. It was one of their channels. Remember how they broke those channels out? And there was that women's channel, woman only channel. I can't remember what it was called, but he just threw 20 million in because AOL threw 20 million in. So, the smart money concept is particularly around, initial early stage stuff,
right,
is key. But the really, really smart money, they lock it all up at that point. So nobody can get in after, unless they're people they think are smarter, or it's people in their networks already. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword. sometimes you get blocked out by the smart money, but sometimes you can find opportunities. And
it's E-Rowan. I get it. The coin is called Rowan, but there was another token called Rowan, so now it's called E-Rowan. Well, I guess these early round guys are happy campers. What are they at? 0.433, and they bought at 0.0125.
Yeah.
That's a sweet return.
Heck yeah. And, it's only going to get better. So unfortunately, I don't get in a lot of these, I wish I was getting in more of these, early stages here.
Yeah.
But, I just don't like the risk myself.
Well, I don't like it because it becomes a timing game. And I don't like timing games, not from my brain. Like, I don't mind my automated timing games on my trades on centralized exchanges, but I don't want to have to dive into everything's a timing thing, but I don't want to have to dive into this thing and see it pump on day one for 2 hours and then try to make the decision about whether this thing is going to sustain or if every venture capitalist is dumping everything at 6 o'clock and I'm fucked, and that's the problem with getting in. Now, I don't mind the idea of if I'm invited to the private round at 0.03 cents, okay, wait a minute, or 0.0125 cents. Yeah, cool. Okay, I'll take that one because I'm probably going to be able to sell that for 1,000 or 2,000x no matter when I sell it. But I don't know. I don't like as a consumer trying to dive into these.
Well, it's
consumers usually get burned.
Yeah, and it's so hard to evaluate execution risk in these plays because often you don't even know who the people are.
Yep.
So
exactly.
You don't know what they've done, if they can pull it off, and you really are just playing 0.0125.
Yeah, exactly.
And and maybe a VC that's in there, but then like you said, you just never know. Is this stuff locked up?
Yeah.
Are there cliffs? What's going on, or can anybody dump at any time? So
yeah. I agree. Hey, real quick reminder to everybody that might be listening on YouTube, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, click the little bell so you get alerted when we go live, all that good stuff. If you're listening on the podcast, subscribe to us in your favorite podcast app. And also please rate, review, subscribe. All of those things help us stroke our egos. No, help us gain new supporters. Please tweet about the show if you like what we're doing. And don't forget that you can comment in real time with us on YouTube, and we're happy to answer your questions. We've been loving the comments on YouTube, but we really want to grow this thing. Thank you.
Are we going to get into did you figure out if we could live stream into the Telegram channel too?
Oh, let's try it right now. Let's do a live experiment.
Okay.
All right.
Because to me, that's just where, I'm never on YouTube basically. And
let me see if I can do that. Mission.
What about,
okay. I don't think it's going to let us use, I don't think it's going to let me use the camera. I think what's going to happen is it's going to take my camera and mic away from StreamYard.
Yeah. What about Discord?
Probably the same thing.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to start a video chat. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Let's see something. But well, it'd be nice if there was a way to stream in live video from. How do I share my screen? Okay. Oh, so I can share my screen, and you can still hear me, right?
Yes, I can.
Well, this is interesting. So maybe I could share the StreamYard screen, or I could, I know what I could do. I'll open, hold on. I have an idea. So let me go back to Twitter. Let's look at our live stream there. And where am I? Okay, keep talking, Joe. Tell us some more news.
Saw something. I'm just scrolling through a Telegram feed right now. The MIM spell, something using MIM spells, looping mechanism increases cauldron yield by 6.5x at a 90% loan to value ratio. I'm going to forward this one to you. So
okay. Why am I not getting, when we went, look at that top-notch content, Fran. That's Fran from Superfluid. Why can't I see our live feed? StreamYard says we're live on Twitter, but I don't have
Maybe
anything.
you just can't see your own or something.
No, I can go in here and see every day I do this when we go live. Okay. That's weird. Huh. All right, let me go to YouTube. I'm going to try it there instead. See if I can share that YouTube feed into Telegram. And the question would be is if there's sound into Telegram or if I'm really just like messing with the tech gods at that point and asking for trouble. I'll probably crash my computer, that's for sure. All right, so what else you got, Joe? Anything interesting? While I'm doing this?
The couple of moves that I made today, what was it?
What you doing?
I bought some, well, I actually pulled out of the Mona USDT pool because it dropped to 500%, only because I wanted to get the USDT deployed somewhere else. I still held all the Mona because that's moving. So
right.
I expect that to keep on going for a while. But like I said, I picked up some Geist, staked it with FTM. There was something else I bought into. Where's my wallet? You know, I've been up since 3, so I'm not quite firing on all cylinders today.
Jeez,
right now.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, you know, I just sometimes wake up like that, you know, and it's like I can't.
Yeah.
I just figure why not? Then you see it. So I'm not. Oh, I hear something.
Yeah, I've got the YouTube channel loaded.
Firing on all cylinders.
Now the question is, will the audio go to Telegram? I probably shouldn't be doing this live, but it's kind of fun.
I bought a lot more Curve too. You know, that's
really
thing. Yeah, I just believe in that one big time.
It just sounds so boring.
I know, but you look.
I'm just kidding with you, dude.
No, but you look at the screen too. I don't like the user interface, but I love that market cap to TVL number.
Yeah,
and I love the just all the chains they're on. And a lot of people do use it. So, that's why I kind of always have it and Aave right now, because I think those are going to be the two, in our thesis about, BTC to ETH to layer ones to large protocols. To me, I don't see how Curve and Aave don't play in that space.
No, it makes total sense.
Yeah. So that's why I keep accumulating there. There was something else. I think I told you about that. I jumped in some pool on SushiSwap yesterday. It was the pool. It's called Pool as well, Pool Coin and ETH. But when I jumped in, I must have just caught the launch. It was like, I don't know, not a million, but it was still obscene, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of %. And so I just jumped in there with like $50 for like 3 hours and took down a little stack of sushi and pulled out of the pool and sold the pool back into ETH. And so, just kind of made a little move like that. So, those are always out there. And you just look at SushiSwap, do it all on Polygon or Phantom. Look at those, SushiSwap, QuickSwap, Define, Crystal, and look for opportunities. The other thing I think I did was I told you yesterday that I'm basically taking all the Crystal that I earn off the Zuki Matic pool, and I'm, staking that to earn Curve and Aave as well. And then I come back and dip that back into the Define pool with the Define paired with the Define that I earn every day there, which is a pretty nice little stream. Now, the other thing I've been thinking about too is, kind of levering up a little bit on, because my strategy is park it on Aave or a place like that and then borrow stables. And I've been kind of thinking about, and then, putting that somewhere and earning like, 30, 40%. And then coming back in with those earnings back into the staking end or staking them somewhere else. I'm kind of thinking about now going the other way and, a little bit and pulling down the stables, but buying the ETH, let's say.
Right.
And then staking that back into, say, Aave, and then that 999 kind of strategy that you talked about the other day. That, if we believe it's going up, that might be a decent play, as long as you watch your loan to value ratios or your liquidation part.
Yep.
But it's just you could do that on Geist too, it looks like, at much higher yields. So
nice.
So those are different things to
I
think
haven't
about
been
right
back
now.
on Phantom in a while. I guess I'm going to have to venture back over there. It looks like they're blowing up pretty nicely. So
Yeah, I mean, the tokens, I think I was in at 60 cents or something. It's still above $2. Had a nice run last week. A little bit of retracing. I think it was almost maybe 280 at one point, but
damn.
it's retraced back to like 210 or 208 or something. But I think money's rotated, that's fast money. So it's probably rotated back out into ETH and Bitcoin. And when those make a run, it'll come back. Because a lot of, Phantom is, it was much faster than Polygon for a little while until Polygon upped the gas fee to 30, and then Polygon just cranks again. So, so it's like you can do 20 transactions in 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Which I like. Where before there was a lot of like waiting and canceling. And if anything was moving like today with lots of volume, I mean, that's one thing I was going to say too, is if you look at that ETH USDT chart for today, I mean, look at all that buying between like 6 and 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, there is I'd say 7 and 8, it looks like.
It's when Asia gets off of work.
Yeah. So I was kind of surprised at that. Just in that, we always say Asia's not doing a lot of buying, but also it could be like now all of a sudden, the institutional guys and Wall Street guys are like going, wait, we could do this before 9.
That's a good point.
So,
yeah.
Because
before they get into the office, they're building out their own fund.
Yeah. So these guys are
That's awesome.
So to me, I think they're kind of figuring out now that this is 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
You don't have to roll.
The blessing and the curse.
Yeah. But there were some big buys there. And of course, there were big buys on BTC around the same time. So, Pumptober is still going, Cryptober, Uptober, whatever you want to call it. You don't want to miss out on this. I mean, I think that, if you're new to the game, you just got to remember, pick what you're going to bring into the world, so to speak.
Right.
And don't go in and put it all in one thing. Don't start chasing stuff like that router protocol pump, feeling like you missed out.
Yep.
Pick some good stuff, layer 1 and ETH or whatever, maybe some BTC if that's what you're into. But, if you come in with, say, hypothetically 10 grand, start off with, go buy all ETH, stake that ETH on Aave or somewhere, borrow, 5 grand in stables, and then use that to play with, and keep 5,000 in reserve. So if you have to DCA, so when you have those stables and you pick a farm you want to mess around in or get some yield or whatever, take half of that and put it into the one you want. So if it goes down, you can, DCA it back up. The yields make up for it, but just don't go in and blow it all on the first go around. You have to, winning traders are the ones who stick around. So don't up your bet sizes or your investment sizes, stay within reason and have your system and stick to it. I mean, it's the only way to survive it, because usually, thank you for that. Yeah. I'm like, oh, wait, I didn't say this. But human nature is to, dopamine freaks basically. So, you're going to chase it. And, maybe, so this is not a Wall Street bets thing or stonking or anything like that. I don't play that way. Right. So, I'm not going to lose it all. Just play smart and be patient. Now, the guys that I know who have really, really done well in this, even though we're just crushing it right now, it's still a multi-year process. So if you're not in it and this is your first entry in, play it smart, build up some stacks and wait for, opportunities. And then, if the case there's a down cycle for a while or something like that, and you got to hang in there, hang in there, because usually these people make it on the second bull run, not the first. So, one guy I know who started with $250,000 in, January 2020, he's up, 35, 50, who knows, $1 million.
Right.
In, almost 24 months. Others, started with smaller, but they were in 2017 and they went up and they took the big hit for the long cycle. And then they, couldn't hold on in that 2018 bear market. I mean, I kind of got gutted that year too, Whereas, when that November cratering happened, when BTC went from like 6 to 3, and I was like, whoa, this could go to 0 at that point. And I was scared. But now I'm not. It is because of the institutional investors. It's because of just
it's mostly because of how long people who have ETH or Bitcoin in their wallet and they haven't moved it since they put it there. Right.
Yeah.
Those are the people who are going to keep this from 0.
Right. And also the institutionals. So you look at all this Wall Street buying, these guys don't mess around. They buy, but they're also playing, perps and things like that. So they're bracketing their holdings with calls and shorts. So if it moves either way, they're making it. So there is, safety there.
Yeah.
They're not going to let it go down this time. And then finally, with the DeFi itself that we always talk about, when you're banging 500% plus yields, 200%, look, it can only go down 100, right? So, if it goes down 40, don't sweat it. A good buddy of mine, he also says, farm it and forget it.
That's
and just
good.
Leave it. But
I love it.
Unfortunately, it's hard to, because you want to compound every day too.
Of course.
So you see those prices, but just a few, just some, play the game long.
Yep. I agree.
Don't play short. So
3 projects being built on Superfluid before we go. Ricochet.exchange, if you guys want to see the protocol in action. Creaton.io, which looks like it's a thing for influencers to make money off their fans. And Drip, Web3 checkout and affiliate marketing, which this may be exactly what I need for material indicators. So all good stuff. It's great. He said they have a number of projects under wraps. Their entire model is come build on our platform. They don't build the products. They just build the protocol. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Now, also, we talk about a lot of stuff, everyone. So if there's anything you want us to talk about, and give our opinions, not pick stuff for you, obviously, but talk about process, procedure, and we don't talk a lot about tokenomics yet, but that's one of the things I also look at quite a bit. Just put it in that YouTube channel or DM Brad on Twitter, and we'll get it in the queue.
That's right. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Joe, have a lovely day.
You too, buddy.
Have
Let's go.
Catch you later.
Pumptober.
Let's go. Pump. See ya.
See ya.